Hey, good afternoon, you guys. Long time no see over here on YouTube. I haven't filmed for YouTube for a couple of weeks, but I wanted to cover this foundation that we're working on up here. This is where we're going to be building this large Spanish estate. We have all the forms set. We have all of our rough-in underground plumbing in, had inspection on that, no corrections, that passed right off. Now I'm up here because my steel guys are hanging all the structural steel, and they will be putting in all the structural hold downs tomorrow. So I'm going to cover everything to do with this foundation and some of the other things that we throw in and our methods of how we do it, like electrical conduit and all that. I'd appreciate a thumbs up on the video. It's been a while since we filmed over here on YouTube, but I'm trying to get a little better at it. Just extremely busy, posting more over on the Instagram page. But yeah, we'd appreciate a thumbs up on the video. It just helps YouTube to recommend our video to other people. So if you're new here, my name is Paul Taylor. I own and operate TCI Development. We are a building contracting company located in Southern California. So let's get right into this video. Okay, you can see that we have all the forms set here. We use these metal stakes, and I mentioned this over on the Instagram page. If you're going to use metal stakes, you know what, cleaning them up after you're done pouring, that's just a pain in the butt. So we put these plastic sleeves around the stakes. We don't have it on all of them yet, but we put it on most of them. We ran out of plastic sleeves, but anyway, we put these plastic sleeves on the stakes. That way, when you pull them out, you don't have to wash them off. Anyway, you can see the guys here hanging the rebar right now. Okay, you can see it's tied out here in the center. These guys carry spools of wire. I'll cover that in just a moment. We also have battery powered wire tires that we use. We have a tool called a Curdy clip that we use. You know, if it's a commercial job and we're tying hundreds of thousands of feet of wire, you know, we're going to use battery powered wire tires. But these guys like to hand tie, right? A lot of guys like to hand tie. So what they're doing here is, this is number 4 rebar. Number 4 rebar is just 4/8 of an inch. Number 5 rebar in the footings, 5/8 of an inch. And you can see here they have them tied at 16 inches on center. We like the squares to look nice and even the way they are, so they'll paint on there 16 inches and then make sure everything's nice and square. Looks good. The inspectors love us when they come out. They don't give us any grief. They just sign our card and they move on. Also, you can see right here, he has these D.I.Y concrete blocks. Now, I had a guest out hanging out with me the other day. It was Steve Basic from Architect from Boston. If you follow him on Instagram, hey, Steve Basic, Architect, really good guy. He came out here, hung out with me the other day. He said in Boston they use steel chairs. Out here we use these concrete D.I.Ys, okay, and they have tie wire built into them. I did a mock-up of one over here. I'll show you. See right here? I tied this one up. This is a 2.5 inch concrete D.I.Y. It has tie wire built into it. So the rule of thumb out here is, and I believe it's probably everywhere where you put structural steel, it cannot touch soil. If it touches soil, it's contaminated. Has to be elevated at least a minimum of 2 inches out in the field, 3 inches in the footings. Okay, you can see how we tie this up here. Here's our number 5 rebar in the footing. Okay, we have them tied together. We have these number 5s hanging from the stakes from a wire right here. They're elevated and they're hanging by these stakes on this wire. Then we hang the bottom 2 down there from these top 2. Okay, so I'll show you right here. You see this wire going down? We hang the bottom rebar from the top rebar, and then we will put these concrete D.I.Ys out here. And then what happens is when we pour wet concrete in here, that concrete will just adhere to these concrete D.I.Y blocks. Okay, also, if you follow my Instagram page, I told you how I make templates for all of our electrical conduit, okay? I have all of the dimensions for every electrical panel made. I got these dimensions originally back in the 80s, okay? And every time a new panel comes out by Square D or whoever, I get the dimensions from the actual engineer that designs these panels. I cut these templates out on CNC machines, okay? This is for a 400 amp panel, all right? I cut these templates out on a CNC machine, right? They're very nicely made, and then my guys don't have to struggle. My electrician, Jeremy from AC Electric, he doesn't have to struggle to put this panel on. A 400 amp panel is very heavy, okay? I've seen guys take more than a day to put that panel on because they're heating up these conduits with a torch and trying to bend them into place. Well, we don't do any of that. I make these templates. All these holes that you see right here are exactly where the holes are on that square D 400 amp panel. So there will be no heating up of torches. When this is done, we will pour this concrete, okay? I elevate these templates off of the form 1.5 inches so they can get concrete underneath it on the other side. Then when it's done, I will cut all these conduits off even. I will put the threaded cap on there, all right? And then we come over here and we set the panel right on it. And in less than 15 minutes, that panel is set, ready to go. Do yourself a favor, make yourself some templates, okay? I have about 30 sets of those. Even though I only use this one, they never get ruined. But yeah, so that's what's happening out here. So we had our underground plumbing inspection. If you follow my feed on Instagram or if you follow my channel on YouTube, you guys have all seen Matt. Matt is my plumber. Matt has been doing plumbing for close to 50 years. The guy is outstanding. There may not be anybody that, I mean, he may not be the best in the world, but there's nobody better. He's very good at what he does. Underground plumbing, I don't think we've ever had an inspection that didn't pass. So Matt did all the underground plumbing. I'm going to show you some of the other trade secrets that we do in plumbing, because I'm sharing all my trade secrets, like that panel template right there. But yeah, let's go over here and check out let's check out these guys tying the wire. I'll show you how they use these how they hand tie it. They have spools of wire that hang on their side. Let's go over here and check it out. Also, you'll notice no dirt down in the footings, okay? You cannot have dirt, you know, any rock or dirt clods or any of that down in the footings. You have to clean them all out. So before I call for inspection, you know, I called for inspection for underground plumbing already, which we passed. Before I call for structural steel and pre-concrete inspection, we will make sure there is no dirt inside these footings. You'll also notice the sand that's on here, okay? What we have here, code for us in this area, 3 inches of sand, and then we have 15 millimeter visqueen plastic. That's our moisture barrier. You see it right here, this plastic, okay? Underneath that, we have 3 inches of sand. We have 15 mil plastic, and then we have 2 inches of sand. Then we grade it out. Then we run strings across all the footings. And then we make sure we have a minimum of 4 inches of concrete out in the field. Okay, we don't care if we have more than 4 inches. We don't care if there's a dip and there's 5 inches. We just don't want any less than 4 inches. Now, let's check him out over here tying this wire. You can see the spool right here on the side. He pulls it, he wraps it around, he hand ties it, and he cuts it off. Okay, minimum of 3 twists, right? That's how they do it, right, buddy? So a lot of guys still like to hand tie. Like I said, if we're doing a commercial job and we have, you know, several 100,000 feet of structural rebar, we have battery powered tires. We also have a tool called a Curdy clip, you know, and you just lift up the wire and put the tool on it and it does the job itself. But yeah, pretty much that's how it goes out here with the moisture barrier and everything. Like I said, we like to use the 15 mil visqueen plastic. It's really thick. No moisture is going to get through that, okay? Somebody told me the other day, I guess in their state, they're not allowed to use sand because there was a lawsuit and somebody said sand was causing mold in the foundation, but I've never heard of that, so that's kind of weird. But I don't know how sand's going to cause mold in the foundation because no moisture gets through the moisture barrier. So I don't know, kind of weird, but you know, different states and just different things, or maybe people are just lawsuit happy. Anyway, that's what's happening out here today. Getting a lot done. I'm going to call for inspection on this for early next week. Today is Thursday. They're going to start hanging all of our structural hold downs and our structural bolts. You know, there's a lot going in here, several hundred. Like I said, we are a seismic state, so a lot of structural hold downs going in here, and I'll cover that when we get to it. I mean, you can see the size of some of these footings right here. Massive, right? I'll show you over here. These are called grade beam footings. Okay, we have porches going out here. This is going to be a porch. Here's some of our pier columns right here. Okay, we have a sink going out here, so there's going to be framed walls right here, but you'll notice this footing continues all the way through these pier columns. Okay, the reason is this is a grade beam footing, right? Massive footing. It's going to be tied together with all steel, connecting every bit of them, right? Let's go over here and look at these. Now we will pour concrete to the bottom of these forms, but in here where the column is, we'll pour it to the top, and this is the same height as the foundation. Same height as the foundation as these column footings. Same thing here, very large grade beam footing. Okay, looking good. So that's what's happening out here today. I'll show you what I always have Matt, my plumber, do. You know, Matt's been doing my plumbing for a very, very long time, and there's specific things that I ask him to do, and there's a reason why I ask him to do them, and I don't ever have a problem. Okay, you'll see right here, look right here. Let me move this dirt out of the way. All right, right here's a clean out. Okay, also right here's a clean out, and then you'll see this 2-inch. All right, that clean out right there goes down and goes towards the septic system, which is going down there on the other side of the driveway. So our leach field is down there. We'll run our tight line all the way down to the leach field, but that's a clean out in that direction. Okay, this clean out right here that you see goes down and goes toward the foundation inside the house. So we can clean out that way. If there's ever a clog, we can go either direction. Okay, we also have this 2-inch right here. All right, what that is, I always have Matt give me a 2-inch that ties into the main line. And this is the reason why. I know the owner has talked about wanting a built-in barbecue like kitchen out here on the patio, which means he's probably going to want a sink in that barbecue. All right, I always run a 2-inch out here already tied in because that plumbing is down more than 4 feet. It's about 4.5 feet down. I always run a 2-inch for a drain line. So that way, all the owner has to do, if he wants a sink out here, if he wants to put a little shed on the property or a little like greenhouse and he wants water in it and a sink in there, he can just trench, run a drain line and tie it right into that 2-inch. Somebody asked me, well, why doesn't he just dig down and tie into the clean out? Well, the reason is the clean outs are set and we don't want to have to cut those off. We want them right where they're at. We'll cut them at elevation when we're done, but the 2-inch is actually specifically meant for an off-site drain for a sink, a barbecue, a greenhouse, or whatever. So we run those every time we run a clean out. We run a 2-inch just so you know it's there. I'd rather the owner not have it, not need it and have it, than need it and not have it. Did I say that right? Anyway, you know what I mean. That. So that's what's happening up here today. You can see right here 2 more large footings for the front porch out here. But yeah, this is what's happening out here. We're just getting it done. A lot of steel going in this. This is a large house, okay? Depending how close we are to the San Andreas fault line, because just down the hill, the San Andreas fault line runs right through part of Temecula. This is up in the La Cresta area. So a lot of steel going in here. You see it right here hanging down at the bottom. Like I said, has to be 3 inches away from any dirt in the footings, right? Nice and clean. Then we will lay it on dobies out here. They're doing that over here, so let's go check it out. If you guys haven't done so, I encourage you to go over and follow us on our Instagram page. You know, we post a lot of videos over there. I haven't been posting as much for YouTube because, you know, I am my project manager and we have a lot of work. I don't film a lot of our stuff. I don't film any of our commercial stuff, so I'm trying to get better at it. You know, I'm just trying to make more time for filming, and I'll probably hire somebody to help me out with that. But let's go over here and check out these dobies. We are using a generator because I have my 10-power pole. We had inspection for the pole. It's ready to go, but Edison hasn't made it out here to hook that up yet. I don't ever let my guys work off generators. I like to always have power for everybody, so I always install 10 power. Okay, let's go over here and check it out. You can see right here, oh, he's tying up these dobies, right? Just elevates the rebar off of the sand. And like I said, we'll make sure that none of the steel is touching any soil. You know, inspectors like what we do. They come out, all the inspectors know my company. They know how we operate, and that's why we pass inspection and don't have delays. But, you know, don't try to shortcut. If you're gonna get into contracting, become a contractor, don't be one of those people that tries to cut corners. Just do what you're supposed to do. You'll get a name for yourself. You'll start developing a reputation, and then guess what? When the inspectors come out, they'll go, oh, it's so-and-so. Yeah, I know these guys. These guys are always good, you know? That's the way they do for us. So there you go. He's got those wires. Comes with the wires. He's just hand tying it. Bam. Like I said, minimum of 3 twists. Sometimes the inspectors will look at it, make sure you didn't just twist it one time. But that's how it's done. Make yourself some of those templates, right? I'm all about efficiency in my company, right? This is why we get a lot of jobs. We're efficient. I always say, my favorite saying, don't be the beaver dam in my river, let's flow like a river. Don't be the beaver dam in my river. Well, this is efficiency right here, okay? Make yourself some templates, get the dimensions, you know, make the phone calls or whoever you got to call. Look, you'll see I put foam down there to keep concrete from going out and getting to the end of my conduits. By the way, I'll show you another trick. Once you do this, okay, you'll see this plastic tub that I put right here. I put a plastic tub over all my conduits stubbing out, and then I backfill, all right? This is the reason. Once I'm done here, I have to dig a utility trench from here up to that pole, all right? Well, when I go to dig right here with my excavator, I don't want to hit my conduits. I'd rather hit that plastic tub that cost me $4. So put a plastic tub, push dirt up against it, nobody will fall in the hole because it's covered up. Put sand in here, don't put dirt, backfill it with sand, and then when it comes time to dig this up, you won't hit your conduits with the excavator bucket. You know, just another trade secret. You can use it if you want or don't. Looking good out here. This is going to be an absolutely beautiful home. Spanish style, white stucco. We're gonna knock this one out of the park like we do all of our projects. That's it. Okay, that's it for today out here on this project. I hope you guys have learned something by watching this stuff. Like I said, I plan on giving away over 45 years of experience in this field. I'm going to give away all my trade secrets because you know what? It's not going to affect me. It's not going to, you know, I'm not competing with anyone. We have plenty of work. So hopefully I can help you out and you guys can learn something watching this here. But this is how it's done right here. These are the codes and regulations in California, some of the strictest building codes in the entire country, if not in the entire world. Seismic, right? We have all those earthquakes. So, you know, in the 80s and 90s when we had those big earthquakes, you know, things changed drastically in the building codes. So that's why you see so much steel here. Like I said, Steve Basic came out, hung out with me. We had a great time. And matter of fact, go over and follow Steve on Instagram at Steven Basic Architect. Great guy, super knowledgeable, and yeah, we had a great time. But he told me that in Boston they use little steel chairs, and I know a lot of other states use little steel chairs, but here we use these concrete dobies because it adheres to the concrete, right? It just becomes part of the foundation. So yeah, that's it. Hope you guys are having a great day. I encourage you to go over, if you're not already doing so, follow us on Instagram at TCI Development, and hopefully you can learn something by watching our projects that'll help you with your project. You guys have an outstanding day.